doing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. Jet, we Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Watch, and find to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Face. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flair, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the Swac, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. You already know what it is. It's your boy Scotty. Listen, back in the building with another one. Listen, I have a new show that we are debuting today. It is called Bet Big. All right, bringing you everything sports gambling wise as best as they can bring it. And listen, you know I had to bring the two. Listen, If it ain't about money, they ain't going. Okay, I just want to let that be clear. And you know these two brothers, if it ain't about money, they ain't going. And let's give it up for my brothers from another, Sean and my boy Rocky.
What's up, Scotty? What's up, man?
What is going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
It's good. It's good. Thank you for bringing us on, man. This is a big day in sports, man. This is a huge day in sports. Coming off a real big weekend, and so it's NBA, it's Swac spring games.
Absolutely,
it's all kind of stuff going on, man. It's a huge weekend.
It is. So listen, guys, I got the bet big because I wanted to introduce gambling and just a little gambling insight on this channel. And coming in the season, it's gonna get lit. When the football season hit, this gonna be crazy. Okay, this is gonna be crazy because we are going to be diving in to some college games, some FCS games, and definitely getting you some Swac and MEAC betting. And listen, from Rocky and from both of Sean, like, listen, that's an untapped market that is just money to be made. You know, like on Players Club when he hit the daylight, money. Yeah. So it's about that. So we just want to bring that to you guys and talk more about what that looks like and going forward. But today we getting into some sports talk and a little bit of NBA playoffs and a little bit of Swac football. Okay, so let's get into it today, fellas. Hey, first things first, hot topic news. Jalen Hurts. If anybody doesn't know, Sean is a Eagles fan. I'm sorry for you, but he is. You know.
Hey, Scotty.
Eagles.
Scotty, I need to redo my contract, Scotty. You didn't let me know that when I signed on for this, bro.
Oh, that's gonna be some great conversations when the season is.
Let me know this.
Yeah. So my man, he is
die Eagles die.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's my motto.
All day, every day. But
I put my glasses on so I can see through the madness. You know what I'm saying?
So let's get it, fellas. 5 years, $255 million, and I believe with the incentives, it can get to 274. $170 million guaranteed. Is he worth it, Sean? It's your team. It's your guy. Is he worth it?
Yes, he's worth every penny, man. Like I said before, like everything that he endured as a player, from coming out of high school, going through the whole University of Alabama drama, transferring and going to Oklahoma, doing his thing, being overlooked as a draft pick in the second round, like 53rd or 54th pick. Everyone else was supposed to succeed what he's doing, to come in and take the Eagles, put us in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? This season was immaculate, so he's worth it.
Rocky, you know, us as Cowboys fans, we just have a little bit more insight to, like, you know, football and things like that. So, Rocky, how did you feel about the payday that Jalen Hurts has received?
So, you know, first I want to say this is a great story, man. When you talk, going back what Sean says about how he endured and persevered over the, you know, what he experienced after being probably the most productive quarterback for 2 years in college. He loses his job and then has to transfer to Oklahoma, has a great year at Oklahoma, and then it's kind of, for all intents and purposes, looked over by the NFL, and the Eagles decided to draft him in the second round. Here's my deal about it, though, right? Is it going to put pressure on him now? See, he's been able to play professional football with little to no pressure now. He's been able to, you know, he's been playing with house money. He was a second-round draft pick, unseated a very popular quarterback named Carson Wentz, right? Who failed miserably at the end of Carson Wentz's tenure. They couldn't wait to get rid of him, the fans and the coaches. So he came in with house money. He was able to produce, made the playoffs early, and then, you know, 3 years in, he's led them into a Super Bowl. But he's been playing with no pressure. Is this $250 million contract going to add pressure on Jalen Hurts, and he's going to have, you know, play with a level of pressure that he hadn't had to perform with before?
Sean, I'm going to let you respond to that. If you feel that he's under pressure now that, you know what I'm saying, with the new contract, do you feel there's more pressure? Did he always have pressure? And then I'm going to go after you and see if I feel like if he's worth it or not.
No, the short and skinny is there is no pressure. He has endured all the pressure being Jalen Hurts and coming into this. He's been overlooked. He's been doubted. He's been counted out. So that was pressure to come into and face adversity year in and year out. You know, from the whole Tua thing. Remember, they were still talking about Tua coming into this particular season. So he's built for it, man.
They done bought that chip off his shoulder. That chip is gone. You know what I mean? That chip is now honey bun. That chip ain't hard no more. That chip is so soft right now. The chip is gone. Can he play at the level he has been playing without that chip on his shoulder?
Okay. Let me pull something up real quick because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna pull up his stats so people can see what Jalen has done over. Let me zoom into this. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this. Let me see his stats, career. All right. So this is his career stats, right? Not bad. I mean, overall with the 3,000 yards, touchdown 6-4, 6-19, 22-6. You know what I'm saying? 60% in the last 2 years. I'm gonna say this. The going rate for a quarterback is what they paid. Is he worth it? Absolutely not. Okay. But that's just how the NFL gets down. That's the going rate. You came in at the right time and you paid what you paid. I just don't. When I think of big time money and big time quarterbacks, I always think about an elevator of talent. Right? Can he elevate the talent around him? And I don't see that in Jalen Hurts. What I do see in Jalen Hurts is he's a damn good playmaker. Like, if you need to make a play, he's going to make a play. And I do like that the offense was built around his feet, his legs, and not trying to turn him into something he was not. And then it didn't hurt that you get A.J. Brown. That don't never hurt, okay? You got him for a bag of chips and a Sprite. You know what I'm saying?
And Devontae Smith.
And Devontae Smith, you know what I'm saying? Who you draft.
First round draft pick.
Who isn't really that good in my personal opinion. But hey, it is what it is. So do I think he's worth it? No. Do I think that you're going to see the Eagles continue their success? It's only as good as how that team is built around him. I don't ever see him to the point where he's an Aaron Rodgers, he's a Patrick Mahomes. You can just put anybody out there. Just put Boo Boo the Fool and Pookie out there, and he'll get you to the playoffs. I don't see that in Jalen Hurts, so I don't think he's worth that much money. But the way the NFL gets down, you just get paid.
So the NFL quarterback has become what the big man in basketball used to be, meaning that just because you were 7 foot, you were going to be paid a top-notch pay, whether it's Andrew Bynum, Kwame Brown. We can name all the players, in the NBA that were not very good players that had just happened to be real tall and played the center over the years and got paid. That's what the NFL quarterback is now. If you're a competent quarterback on a good team, you're going to get paid. You see how it happened to Kirk Cousins. You see how it happened to Jared Goff. There are a bunch of substandard quarterbacks getting the same kind of deal that Jalen Hurts has got. Now, at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts, delivered before he got his big money. And so, in a sense, they may have owed Jalen this deal because he got him to the big game on a rookie deal. But I want to see what he does now because as he gets into this contract, 3 years into it, 2, 3, 4 years into this contract, they're not going to be able to sign free agents. They're not going to be able to build around him. They're not going to be able to raise the talent level around him because that contract is going to have them restricted. And then what kind of player is he? Can he take an average player and make him great, to Scotty's point? Is he going to be able to carry the offense on his back? And that's something he did not do at Alabama. And so I'm looking forward, and he did not do it this past year, but let's see if he can do it in the future. I'm really anxious to see what the future holds for Jalen Hurts.
Overall, Sean, do you think do you think this puts the Eagles in a better situation? I mean, everybody. I mean, once you solidify a quarterback, when you pick a guy, but overall, like the 2, 3, 4 years down the line, where do you see the Eagles going with Jalen Hurts?
I expect the Eagles to continue to compete, especially in the NFC East, which has always been a tough division, no matter what. Each year is different. It's rocky. But you have to look at
no pun intended.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But not So look at the Super Bowl, right? People didn't think that he could carry, but he went blow for blow with arguably the best quarterback in the league. And if it hadn't been for dumb defensive play calling and no adjustments
and a fumble by him,
yeah, but he made up for that.
I mean, you can't make up for 7 points. I mean, you can't. I mean,
he made up, but he came right back down and let him right back down the field. You know what I mean? With ease. So he battled throughout that game and still was within reach of being able to cap that thing off had the defense gotten a stop earlier on. So,
what defense?
What you mean? What defense? Come on, man. No, this ain't Dallas defense now.
Whoa!
This ain't Dallas defense.
Whoa! First of all, sir, the disrespect that you're showing right now is crazy because we beat y'all. All right?
Win.
We beat y'all
without Jalen.
And you beat us without Dak. What we talking about?
Oh my goodness gracious!
So it's 1 for 1. We can talk about it.
Well, this is what I'll say about it. You got to realize that same defense that showed up at the Super Bowl, we need them every time the Cowboys play them. That's the defense we want to show up right there. We're going to run that same play. We're going to run that same play that Andy Reid ran, except we're going to run it all the way down the field. It's going to be like a video game. We're going to run that same play until y'all can click into the right coverage. You know what I mean? We're going to run that same play.
Like all the corner got to do is come down, not chase, let him run across the formation, adjust the safeties. And when he comes back, you got it. Make him come up out of it and go to the second read.
That's good. Let me ask you this, right? Because we know what the black quarterback is starting to become in the NFL. It's actually starting to become a predominant figure of let's go find us a black quarterback. But where does this leave Lamar? Because it's too many times that I feel that the NFL is, I'm going to worry about me and the rest of you Bamas need to get it for yourself. And the NBA does not move like that. The NBA, it moves as more of a coalition of, hey, this is best for the players, right? So with Jalen not signing a fully guaranteed contract and he was just in the Super Bowl, where does this leave Lamar Jackson? Rocky, I'm going to start with you.
Well, first off, and I'm a huge Lamar fan, and I think the Baltimore has done him a disservice, right? By not negotiating with him in good faith, right? That's what I first say. But this situation of Jalen Hurts shows you what competent representation can get you if you go out and seek it. And so what I would do if I was Lamar, I would kiss my mom on the cheek, give her a big old hug, and call Jalen Hurts and ask him for his agent's phone number. Sign on with Clutch Sports and resume negotiations in good faith. Because there's no way he should be walking around with a bag, 179 guaranteed, and all Lamar has is 32.5 guaranteed next year. That's just not fair. There's no way in the world it makes sense. And even if he has to come down from his demand of a fully guaranteed contract, 179 million is 179 million. And Lamar at least deserves somewhere in that neighborhood, if not more.
I like it. Don, what you got?
Man, I love the argument Rocky put forth. I cannot go against that. To add to what Rocky would say, it's unfortunate for Lamar. He's a dynamic player, but can he stay healthy? You know what I mean? And after seeing Jalen, there's a different perspective, but that contract signing is a hindrance for Lamar because he wanted fully guaranteed. So I do think that he has to get what he can. Maybe after this season, or during this season, depending on how well he plays, because now they've signed a receiver that he wanted to play with. So we have to see what we get the best Lamar.
Sean, I want to give you just a little pushback on this for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
What they gave Lamar in a guarantee, I want to say it was 3 over 133 is what is reported that was offered, right? That's a little over $45 million a year. Jalen got over $50 million a year. So how can this hurt Lamar when ultimately he got an average of over $50 million a year? And like Scotty said earlier, the incentives could push it up to in the neighborhood of 55, 56.
Yeah. Well, let me jump in there just a little bit, and I'm gonna let you finish, Sean. It's the fully guaranteed that's the key with Lamar. Well, from reports is that he wants a fully guaranteed, but there's also reports that he said he did not want a fully guaranteed. He just wanted to be paid more than Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson. He wanted to get paid more than Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson. That's what I was here. That's some of the things I've heard. I know Dave is he follows the Panthers really heavy in the NFL streets. He's probably going to chime in as well. But Sean, what do you say to that?
I mean, I agree with both sides of it, but like I said, that the reason that I said it's hurting right here because he had an opportunity to land a deal, right? But he wanted to be the highest paid, in my opinion. He wanted to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. That was more intriguing to him. But his body this year couldn't withstand the injury that he took. And then, of course, he didn't want to rush himself back knowing that he had negotiations and he was looking at the longevity of his career. So I can understand where he's coming from. But I don't think that he's going to be the highest paid quarterback. And they're going to see to it that he isn't because of how messed up the Watson deal was. And you know what I mean? How they guaranteed him out. And then Jalen comes behind and he doesn't take a fully guaranteed and he comes in under that. Is Lamar
Jalen doesn't come in under that total money.
Well, yeah, total money.
So what I'm saying is we can look at the guarantee. I think the guaranteed money that Deshaun Watson got was because he was going to Atlanta and Cleveland had to offer him something that would dissuade him from going to Atlanta. So again, that was the situation, right? He had a no trade clause and he had to be persuaded to go to Cleveland, and that's what Cleveland had to do. My point is when they bring up the injuries with Lamar Jackson, right? My point is with the injuries of Lamar Jackson is he has answered the bell each and every time for his team that he's been healthy. And he's played in a situation. He's played in a predominantly running off. Well, he runs the ball way too much. I'll just put it like that. He hadn't been given the opportunity to operate in a conventional offense. And once you give him opportunity to operate, in my opinion, in a conventional offense, he can use his running as a bonus and not a staple of the offense. He also has been operating with substandard weapons. With all that being said, they have to negotiate in good faith and pay him what he's worth. And 133 guaranteed and 179 guaranteed, that's a huge difference. And I'll end there.
I think overall, where I will say I love where this conversation is going is the black quarterback is a staple of getting paid and at the top of teams' precipice. But this is my pushback is that they need to start working together in the premise of, listen, if we want to have guaranteed contracts, the biggest factors are those on the quarterbacks. We all know how the NFL gets down. If you do not have a quarterback, you do not have a successful chance to win a Super Bowl. So quarterbacks need to be, especially black quarterbacks, need to be lock, hip, and step on how they're negotiating these contracts together and be together. But, to each his own, man. I think until the NFL and the players start coming together, I don't think you're going to see a lot change. But I do agree with Rocky. The Bama need to let his mama go and get a real contract. All right, listen, I'm going to give an announcement. I got a wealth seminar coming up. Listen, at the end of the day, man, we as Black people need to get the finances together, okay? April 27th, I have a wealth seminar here on the channel. I have Mr. Liddell Buggs. You'll see him in the chat. He is a real estate millionaire, all right? We also have Mr. Matt Spula. He is a financial service millionaire, right? So I'm telling you, April 27th, 7 p.m., bring your questions, all right, of things that you can do in this economy to better support yourself, stop, saving money, where you can invest, where they'll tell you where they're putting their money at and where some of these big CEOs are. So April 27th, 7 p.m., a wealth seminar with 2 money millionaires. I'm telling you, you can't find it anywhere.
And I also want to say this, Gotti. Buying a prayer cloth and blessing all ain't a wealth strategy. I just want to say that right off the bat.
Hey, it's not a bad strategy, though. It ain't a bad one, but it ain't wealth, okay?
Hey, he keep one in the chamber, man.
No, I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh man, that's what it is. All right, let's go for it, man. Listen, real quick, let's jump into some Swac football, man. All right, we heard the rumors. All right, we heard the rumors. Savion Wilkerson was in the portal. Is he not in the portal? In the portal? Is he not in the portal? He's in the portal. All right, made an announcement today, posted it. My question is why, and the reason I'm asking why is this: the kid has jumped from West Virginia to Delaware State to Jackson State. Now, I don't know where else he's going to go because based off the transfer rules, you have to sit out a year to even play. So to me, what it would have made sense is at least play this year with Jackson, take your graduate year, and then go play somewhere else. But it just doesn't make sense to me. I think kids are just becoming enamored with the transfer portal. I really believe he found the home at Jackson State. What do you all say to this, and where do you see this going for this young man?
Well, I mean, I like him as a SWAC player, as an FCS player. I really think he has limitations on the FBS level, but he is a really good back he was a really good back for Jackson State. I mean, I think he was a fan favorite. I think you're right, Scotty. It seemed like he found a home. He found a place where they could utilize his skills. I don't know what his situation was at Delaware, and I didn't realize he had been in West Virginia. But I think in the situation where he is, unless he's in the portal thinking he can get a bigger bag somewhere, or to follow Dion, because he sipped that prime juice, and that prime juice must be mighty good. You understand? It must be good considering what's going on in Colorado and what's not going on in Jackson State. So I'll just leave it right there. So it may be a situation where he just wants to leave and go get some more of that good old prime juice.
Now, mind you, the prime juice was so good, real. The boy walked on at Jackson. He didn't
even pay?
It wasn't a scholarship. They did not give this kid a scholarship to be at Jackson. He had to walk on. So, or it was kind of like a situation where we know you're good. We just don't have no room for a scholarship for you, but you can come here if you want. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those situations. So to me, it's like, yo, you bet on yourself. You did well, and now you about to go bet on yourself again? Come on, man. That don't make no sense. Sean, what you got on it?
All right, man. I'm with both of y'all on this. Great FCS player. He does have some limitations. Can he do well at a Power 5? I'm pretty sure he can behind the right O-line, the right scheme. He just has to find his fit. I would have liked for him to stay in Jackson, been a contributor, and really made his name for himself there. And then, take that year, that grad transfer year, to dominate at a P5 level school. If he would have received an offer there, and he would have been good. But this route, man, it's a little skeptical. It's like if you're building a resume and you're looking at tenure, right? And you're applying for a job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. Like, where's his tenure? So his commitment level. Why is his commitment level so shaky wherever he lands?
Well, again, having a daughter in college, right, that goes to Prairie View, I understand it takes money to go to school. And if he's getting in the portal just to get an opportunity to get his education paid for, I fully understand that. If Jackson State if he ran for 1,000 yards, was all conference, this, that, and they didn't take care of him, then that's on Jackson State. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would hate to speak on his situation, not knowing, understand that he wasn't on a scholarship, right? For all of y'all who ain't paid y'all student loans, it really do cost money to go to school. I just want y'all to know that. Just because y'all ain't paid y'all student loans don't mean that it's free. I'm just telling you. And like I say, I'm paying. My wife and I, we're paying for our daughter's education. We ain't taking out no student loans. And school do cost money if you paying out your pocket, just so you know.
Boy, something wrong with you. Listen, I hope he finds a place to land. I hope they give him what he's looking for and things like that. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, unless he's graduating early, that he has to sit out a year before he can play again. It just, I don't understand. Maybe he's saving that eligibility. I don't know. But Jesus, I hope he finds what he's looking for. All right, listen, before we get into the NBA, one more Swac. All right, one more Swac. Way too early Swac rankings. East and West. All right. You guys can give me if you want to go top 5, you can go top 5. If you want to go top 3, you can go top 3. But just give me your way too early Swac rankings. And let's start with if you're going to say 5, start with 5 first and then go to 1. Don't go 1 5. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let me start I'll start it off, Scotty, because I kind of got it organized. And I'm putting them all in one. I'm not doing it West and East. I'm saying the 5th best school is going to be Prairie View in the Swac.
Okay.
The fourth best school is going to be Southern. The 3rd best school is going to be Jackson State. 2nd best is going to be FAMU, and I think Alcorn is going to return to its dominance of the SWAC, to be perfectly honest with you.
Let's do it like that. I like that. Just like a coagulated top 5. I like that. Sean, what you got?
Yeah, so to follow that, I'm going to go Prairie View at 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Grambling at 4. I feel some upsets coming along. At 3, I got Alcorn. I'm going. I just feel like it, man. I think something is brewing that we don't know about it, but I just feel like FAMU might just fumble the ball at the OBC.
Willie go Willie? You think
Willie go Willie, bro? Willie go Willie, and he gonna let JSU take it for 3 straight times. Man.
Oh my goodness! Not Willie go Willie.
Yes, I just got this feeling, man. It's set up for him to win.
It is. It is.
And that's too much pressure for Willie, man.
Okay. Did you finish? Was that number 1 or what you?
Yeah. JSU won.
Okay.
It's fool's goals, I know.
Rocky said he'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna give you 2. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 because I got to. I know that's not fair. It's my show. I don't give a damn. But I gotta give you 2 because of my boy Andrew. All right, so that because he's in between stages. He's in the goulash, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Number 5. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to go with the 10 fans. I'm gonna have to go with PV. Fans. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go with the 10 fans. Right? Number 4, I'm gonna go with Southern. I can't do it. I can't. Number 4, I gotta go with Grambling. I can't, man. Dooley be killing me, bro. I can't trust him right now.
You thought about that too. You was like, nah.
I can't do it. I'm gonna go 4 Grambling. I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3 Alcorn, 2 FAMU. number 1 Texas Southern. That is if Andrew is healthy. Okay? If Andrew is healthy, I got Texas Southern at the top of the mountain. Okay? If Andrew is not healthy, they are not in the top 5. I'm just letting you know that right now. And my number 1 is going to be I'm going to go 1 down now. FAMU, Alcorn. I know they're like, where'd they come from? FAMU, Alcorn. I'm going to go JSU. Nope, can't do it. I'm going to go Grambling, Southern, JSU. PV is not in there. Okay, so if Andrew is good, they're number 1. If they're not, it goes FAM, Alcorn, FAM, Alcorn, Grambling, Southern, Jackson State. That's what I got. That's what I got for you. If Andrew and them boys is not together. I know that's a little weird, but that's just how I'm feeling. I don't believe.
Here's my thing about the West, right? We were so excited about the West. We thought the West was like ultra competitive and that it had more talent, right? And then when we see all the games coming down to the last 4 games of the season or 5 games, the second half of the season, and we started seeing them how bad the actual play was, right? Then I began to like, man, we overthought the West. And I think that's the issue again. But I feel like Coach McNair, right? Mm-hmm. And he's going to flex his muscles. I just feel like it. He's like, okay, y'all got me 2 years down. It ain't going to be a third. I'm going to be back in this thing, and we're going to control the West. And I think that's where we are right now with them. And to add, even though Dooley's having some success right now, shout out to Southern. I seen Dooley take his behind over there to LSU to try to get some tutelage from
Brian Kelly.
Yeah, from that program. And you know what I mean? See if he can add some wrinkles into his repertoire. So we have to see. But ultimately, it's going to come down to how well his quarterback can play. And if he's going to Dooley it up and fumble again, or does PV, right? Do they trick themselves? Because I believe that was their head coach's first year.
Yeah, it was.
And down the stretch, he showed a little bit of his ignorance in that back end, man, and it cost PV, because I would have loved to see PV and Jackson State play. That would have been a nice game.
I think I would have loved to see that as well. I think Southern and Jackson in the Southern Championship would have been a better game if Dooley didn't stick with Bashawn McCray as long. I think that really would have been a shootout, like tit for tat, 1 for 1. The reason I can't believe in PV is because I just don't know what PV is going to be, right? Like, well, you know what they are, you just don't know if they can take the next step offensively, right? Because if you stop the run game, their defense is not anything special, if we're being honest. They play a basic cover 3. Sometimes they go man, but most times it's cover 3 base. They just a real simplistic team, and they're going to run the ball. So if you can stop the run, i.e. Valley, you know what I'm saying? If we stop your run, what else are you bringing? And is Connolly going to take that next step going forward? And is the PV coaching staff going to trust Connolly to take that next step? Because you done brought in a serious back. You brought in a serious back with Caleb Johnson, you know what I'm saying, who can carry it 25 to 30 times. So how many times is that going to give my quarterback opportunities to throw the ball? We shall see. So I don't really know. And I see people in the chart talking about Hugh Jackson. Listen, the reason I'm putting Hugh Jackson up in the top 5 is simply because of this. He has no reason not to be, right? Because it's like this. If you finish out the top 5 again, he got to be fired. Because it's like, what are we bringing you? Think about this. If Dion would have finished second to last in his first year, it's not good. No. So we gotta hold the same. I don't give a damn. They're like, well, that's Dion. I don't give a damn. He has coached in the NFL. He has been an NFL offensive play caller, and you're finishing second to last in the Swac. when you got Dooley over here who don't know what a quarterback look like. You got, like, for real, bro. Like, you got Dooley not knowing what a quarterback look like. You got all court. They couldn't kick a ball to save their life.
Yeah.
You got Texas Southern who couldn't stop a nosebleed on defense, and you're second to last? Nah.
You're right. No. I totally agree with that. I mean, we need to put some pressure on Coach Jackson. I like I like him as a coordinator. I think he would have been an excellent coordinator. And then he could have progressed a little bit, but oh well, he got the shot. And now, you know, we get to see all of his flaws. And some of his flaws is he truly a leader among men?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that begs the question, if he is or if he is not, we're going to see this year, because there's a new standard. There's a lot of energy in that Grambling program, especially coming off of this offseason and some of the things they've been able to acquire, right, that other schools have not taken advantage of. So can he put it together and go out and challenge? Because this still, the barometer, the peak of this is still Coach McNair.
Yeah.
And everybody else might have had a little shine, but Coach McNair is still the guy on the Western side. Now, I'm with you. PV, what can you do? What kind of quarterback do you really have? Do you have some playmakers that want to go get it? Are you gonna fumble the ball late in the fourth quarter when it's like 4th and 1 and you can't get the 1 yard? What you gonna do, right? Or fumble the ball and then end up losing the game, or whatever the case may be. Absolutely. Like, there were so many circumstances for PV where they couldn't finish last year. So that's the thing that I'm looking to see, if can PV finish, can Texas Southern dominate, right? They were able to do a lot of good things last year, but can they dominate? If Texas Southern can dominate with some new acquisitions that they have and get out in front of everybody, then it's going to be Texas Southern running away with it. And Grambling might be second tier, but no way can Hugh Jackson finish second to last.
Man, if that Bama is not top 3 in the West, they need to look to fire him. Because what are we paying you for? We could be using that money for something else. Absolutely. We can take somebody off of a Southern staff to be the head coach and pay him 3 times less. You know what I'm saying?
You go say that.
Hey, that Bama like 170. You know what I'm saying? He'll be happy as he'll be like, I would say something my old football coaches would say, but it's not very PC. He would just be happy. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. He would be happy. So I'm like, we paying you over $500,000. We could get somebody paying $175 and put the rest of the pot. We could put that in the bank somewhere. Or you could come to the wealth seminar on April 27th and learn where to invest it at. You know what I'm saying? Grambling, you can bring your ass down to the wealth seminar on April 27th with 2 millionaires and let you know what you can do with the rest of that money and not pay Hugh Jackson. That's all I'm saying. April 27th here on the Off Script channel. 2 millionaires will be here giving you wealth tips on how to move your money during this so-called recession or upcoming recession, or however you want to call it. All right.
I got a question.
What's up?
So does that same pressure apply to your boy over at A&M?
Oh, Connell, hell yeah. Hell yeah, because it looking like you can't do nothing without a kill. Yeah. That's what it looked like. It looked like a kill made you. You know what I'm saying? So he has to be, if he finishes out the top, I say the top 4. Because I think A&M should be a top 3, top 4 team, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? Jackson, FAM, Alabama, A&M, Alabama State. What I think people really need to be worried about is Valley. I think Valley's coming. I really do believe that.
I feel you, yeah.
I do believe Valley is coming. But if Maynard, first of all, if he loses another Magic City Classic, because let's be real, Dooley don't know what a quarterback look like, and neither does Eddie Robb. Okay, so let's not play these games like they know what quarterbacks look like, because they don't. So if he loses a Magic City Classic again, and if he finishes out the top 3 or 4, I think he needs to be looked at as evaluated. And I don't think Connell Maynard should be untouchable in the sense. I think he shouldn't like, oh, you brought a championship to, it was a COVID year. Let's be honest. It was COVID year. You know what I'm saying? Now it counts, but it was still COVID. Let's be real. And you literally haven't done anything with, since Akil. So I think there has to be some type of, let's ponder that. It's just my little thing. All right.
What up, Unc? See him in the chat.
You see the man. All right, let's get into it, right? I know for real, bro. I do feel like Valley is coming. Like I think they're on that Game of Thrones winter is coming type of vibe. Like I really think that they can put some wins together and they could be a third or fourth ranked team in the East. I really believe that they can catch you because it's so much parity, right? It's so much parity. And it kind of reminds me, Sean, of this year in college basketball, where there was no guy that you were just like, oh, I'm worried about that team. That team is just so good that nobody's going to beat them. And I think this is what the SWAC looks like in that kind of realm. And I believe even in MEG, you got your top guys, but I still believe in this year, taking Dion away from Jackson has allowed everybody to have parity, and anybody can get it at any point in time. This is how I feel it.
Not only got a little swagger back behind that, right? He departs, and now your chest is a little bit bigger now. You don't have to, you don't have to climb too far, compete against that extra level of talent that was coming in that could separate in the trenches or outside or somewhere like that was deciding some of these games. So absolutely, man, I do feel like Valley has a trick up their sleeve. And I think that they're willing to get down in the trenches and play a little dirty themselves just so they can come away with some of these victories, man, that they've been missing out on. And you know what? A good Valley season does? It helps the SWAC.
Absolutely.
You want to see that. You don't want to see them just continue to get pounced on. So if Valley can come out and be competitive, it'll build the SWAC brand. And, that'll be really, really, really good sight to see. And out of conference, like we got, SWAC got to do a better job at that. And but yeah, I don't see Valley, letting y'all just continue to sit on them.
I agree. I do agree. Like I wasn't a big fan of them hiring Coach Wade, and I'm cool with Coach Wade. Mm-hmm. But I do like where the team is going under his tutelage. We'll see what it looks like going forward. Now to the NBA playoffs. All right. And Rocky was supposed to be here, but clearly he had other plans, right? So we call these the get it over with games, okay? It's the games that you're just like, they're fillers, right? Because it's like, we know who's supposed to win these games. So the get it over with games, we got Boston and Atlanta, Cleveland and the Knicks, 76 and Nets, and Denver and Timberwolves. Sean, what out of these get it over with games, which one is actually worth watching in your opinion?
None of them. If I had to choose a game to watch, it would be the Atlanta Hawks and Boston Celtics. But the reason for that is because of Trey. If Trey is on fire, Trey can will his team into overplaying them, their talent level against a superb or a supreme team, and allow them to get a victory or two. It kind of reminds me of think AI and the Sixers versus the Lakers in the finals, right? AI had that one breakout dominant game that they end up winning against the Lakers, and you was thinking, oh man, maybe they got a shot to win another game, but they're not going to win the series type of deal.
Yeah,
that's the vibe that I get from Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. But it has to be Cleveland and the Knicks, which is boring.
Facts. Now listen, I love me some Jalen Brunson. Boy, do I love Jalen Brunson. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. As you don't know, it really hurt my heart to see him leave us. Forget you. Cuban Maverick, whatever his name is, Cuban, whatever. Mark Cuban. Yeah, I can't stand him. He let him. I love Jalen Brunson. And I love what Spider is doing in Cleveland. I mean, he's really putting them on. He's really putting them boys on his back and really coming the ball. Listen, I think the game that I like watching, honestly, is the 76ers because I love Joel Embiid. I love his game. I love how he plays. I just love like he gives me like the Dikembe Mutombo vibes, like with the trash talking, but he's just way stockier. You know what I'm saying? Like Dikembe was real skinny and with the wig. I just love Embiid is such a big. He's like a African Shaq, just a big personality. A lot of trash talking and things like that. So I absolutely love that series. The one that I cannot stand to watch is Denver versus Minnesota. To me, nothing about that game that is entertaining. I watched it for like 2 quarters. I was like, God almighty, this is bad. Like, this is just, I would prefer not to watch this game. So these are the get it over with games. If you have pick some winners, pick some of the winners. If you were betting, which you do, you bet very, very consistently. But if you were giving people advice on who they would put their money on, where you got?
I'm gonna go back with the team that you said that you like to watch, and that would be the 76ers. And one of the reasons is because Joel Embiid is playing out of his mind. Now his team could be down by 7, 8, 9, 10 points, but because he's on the floor, he's a factor, and he can wheel his team back from that deficit in less than 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Because he gives effort on both sides of the floor, and that's what you want to look for in a team. So I would go there because I think that this year they have learned from previous years and would be able to be more competitive and get over the hump against the Celtics, who I see them ultimately playing.
You know, for me, I mean, I think the gimmies are the Celtics and the Nuggets. You know, I think those 2 series are pretty much over.
Yeah.
And listen, man, Rudy Gobert has to be the most overrated 7-footer in the – like, I thought JaVale McGee was bad, but damn, Rudy Gobert is just not it at all. Now, I love Anthony. I think Anthony's a dog.
Yeah,
you know,
he is.
I think Cat Williams – I'm sorry. Not Cat Williams.
You called him Cat.
I think Cat and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, for those who don't know.
If we don't, Karl Anthony Towns and AD kind of have this similarity to them, right? And I know a lot of people will be like, "What?" They have a like a inner dog that has a light switch, and I don't like that. Yeah. Some days it's on, and some days it's off, and that really bothers me because they're so talented and so big that they should walk to the scorer's table and say, "Put me down for 30 and 15." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're
with their chest out.
With their chest out, like, no, hey, put me down for 25 and 15, 25 and 10. Put me that's the floor for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that they have this switch that just like, you're like, are you playing today? Are you not playing today? Like,
yeah.
You know, do you not want the ball? Do you want the ball? Like, why are you shooting threes? All like, why are you settling? Like, it's all those type of things with me that really bothers me. But I think the best series, competitive wise, I have to go with my boy Dave, is Cleveland and the Knicks. I think that is going to go 6, and I think Knicks pulled it out 4-2. That is my predictions in this atmosphere of what it is on these get it over with games. Now, let's get to the big money matchup. Let's get to the big money matchups. You already know every other game, starting with, money matchup. Listen, I love the NBA. I don't know how they keep getting this matchup, but I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. Big time.
I love it.
This is a finals game that you're getting early.
Early. And the one thing I love about this matchup, Sean, is that each team has beat each other in a series at one point in time with some of the players that have been on this team. Like, there's been some changes and things like that, but overall they have been able to beat each other with the same type of teammates on here. So game 2, bet makers have Heat at 8.5 plus 8.5. Heat are 1-0 in the series. Couple questions that I want to bring to you all's attention, and to you as well, Sean, and Rocky's about to join us in a little bit. Can the Heat sustain this type of defense? Because was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, they played at a very high level defensively that I haven't seen them play in quite some time. What do you say to that?
I agree with you, but I do think it's their familiarity with the Bucks, and they know that, hey, this is a championship caliber team, so the stakes are higher, because there's a swagger and an aura, right, about Miami basketball. And Miami basketball is to beat you up and be as physical as possible. And then when it counts, If the game is close, they feel like they can win. So as long as they have that confidence against elite athletes like what Milwaukee possesses, it just raises their confidence and their level of play. We saw that in other matchups against supreme teams with this Miami team. They will not falter or go down or be swept by anybody. So I just think that they can sustain it, but they may overly exert a lot of energy this series.
Rocky, when it comes to this game and this matchup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the Bucks? Do you feel the Bucks are ready to take that next step in becoming a dynasty and cementing themselves as the top dog in the NBA?
At this point, I don't think so. For not because they don't have the ability to, but at this point, I just think they're too banged up. I think Giannis being hurt, Chris Middleton hadn't been 100% all year. Those are key players, you know. Now they may even win this series, right? But I think going into the rest of the playoffs with a banged up Giannis and a banged up Chris Middleton, I remember a few years ago when they won the title, Giannis got banged up for sure, but Chris Middleton came in and provided a yeoman's effort, and I don't think he's capable of doing that now if Giannis is down. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, they had the best matchup in the playoffs for this reason. Miami is the lowest scoring team in the NBA.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, they gave up. You know, they allowed Miami to exceed their average, and then they came in way below what their average is. So something's going to have to change. I hope, you know, as a betting man, I like the fact that Miami is getting 8 points, right?
Yeah.
With a hurt Giannis, right? But I don't know that Miami can consistently score to stay that close if Milwaukee plays up to their capabilities. To be honest.
I mean, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler went for 35. Bam went for 22. You're taking Tyler Hero out of with his broken finger. Kevin Love gave you 18. Kevin Love, he gave you 18. Hey, that's not bad.
That's what I'm saying, Scotty. They got 130 points out of this team. That is the lowest scoring team in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's something about the Bucks that turn Miami on.
Yeah.
When you think about this, there's not a quarter, just the fourth quarter, and they didn't need a lot of points in the fourth quarter. They gave up over 32 points each quarter before the fourth. The Milwaukee Bucks did, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, can Miami keep this up? I'm going to have to see it again, Sean. I'm going to have to see it again. I think it's counterfeit, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they may come out the next game and go back to their average. But at the end of the day, I don't believe it's legit. I don't believe that Jimmy's going to go for 35. I don't believe Kevin Love's going to get 18. And also you got to remember, Tyler Hero is going to be out for the series as well. That makes it even more difficult for them to score, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. But in this game, I definitely will take Miami being given 8.5 points.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of points. And we'll see, can they keep it close?
All right. I got to put you on the hot seat. Game 2, who takes it?
Oh, Milwaukee, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, the playoffs started when Miami won the first game. So now the pendulum has swung in that direction, and they got to even the series at this point.
I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0 Miami. Listen, I think Jimmy Butler brings a different mindset in the playoffs, and he holds his teammates accountable. And Kyle Lowry only going for 2 points. Because let's be real, we've seen that Kyle Lowry before. He has shown up at the Raptors many a times, okay? DeMar DeRozan will go crazy, and you just need Kyle to give you 10. You're like, Kyle, if you just give me 10 points, we come out here, we champions. He couldn't do it for you. So I'm hoping that Kyle Lowry, with Tyler Hero being out, that Kyle Lowry steps into that role and can fill those points, 12, 14, 16 points. And But I think Jimmy Butler. And let me say this before you go, Rock, because I know you about to say something. I love Jimmy Butler's attack and getting into the mid range and finding his shot early. I saw that in the game in the first 2 quarters. He went to the mid range, he found his shot early, got a good rhythm, and it kept going from there. But go ahead, Rock.
No, I just think Miami is gonna revert back to the mean as far as their average. And if they give up 117 points again when the Milwaukee plays better, they're just gonna lose. You know what I mean? That's just what I believe, and so that's why I'm picking them. I'm hoping if the Miami Heat ends up scoring 130 points in the playoffs each and every game, that's going to truly mean that the regular season means nothing in the NBA.
Oh, everybody knows that.
But think about this, right? To add to that, when we watch the Lakers and the Heat play, Jimmy Butler, that series against LeBron, right? It was a different Jimmy Butler than the regular season. So that's what I mean by something turns him on about this matchup. And he's going to play ugly. And I think that favors Miami Heat.
And I think the caveat to this is back injuries are so. Listen, we've seen Tracy McGrady. We've seen a lot of players. Back spasms really do affect you in weird ways. One tweak turn, a certain jerk the wrong way, and your back will lock up on you so fast, right? So back injuries and Giannis being day to day is a very key factor to this matchup as well. All right, let's go into matchup number 2 for big money matchups. See, a lot of people will have this game last. I think it's important, but it ain't the last. Okay, let's just be real. I think it's there, but it ain't the last. Okay, Warriors, Kings. All right. All the betting platforms has Sacramento by 2.5 points. Kings lead the series. Kings won this game. The first game, I believe, was 136 to 133. Rocky, start with you. What did you see in game 1, and where do you see this series going?
So what I saw in game 1 is an older team thinking that they were going to be able to put away a young team, and they just weren't able to do it. The young guns were relentless. They weren't going to give in. They weren't going to, and surprisingly, they didn't make the mistake. They didn't, play foolish or use bad judgment or make the big turnover. They played hard. They played sound, and they were able to get the victory in the first game, essentially coming from behind. So what that tells me is that the Warriors are going to have to turn their game up a notch, and they're just going to have to go out and beat these guys because the Kings are not intimidated. They're young guns that can play, and they're not going to be intimidated by the Kings. I mean, by the Warriors. And so the Warriors are going to have to show up and beat them. And I think it's going to be difficult. And I have to in this game, I definitely think Sacramento has the edge at home again. And so I'm going to go with Sacramento because I think they had an edge at home. I think the Warriors will have to win a game in Sacramento to win the series, but it won't be the first 2 games.
Ooh.
What you got, Sean?
All right, so let's deal with a little bit of statistics real quick. So the Warriors missed 34 threes in game 1. Do you think that this is going to happen again? Despite losing the way that they did, they missed 34 threes. They welcome Wiggins back. He has to be more instrumental in this particular domination of the young team. So I don't go with Sacramento this game. I do believe that Golden State will pull this out tonight, and it'll be a blowout. I don't see them missing 34 threes.
So, and I want to come back at you for this, right?
Come on.
Do you think that the reason why they missed 34 threes was because they had to run and chase and stay after those youngins, and they were fatigued down the stretch and weren't able to make buckets. That's going to be the same situation every game if that's the case, because they're not going to be able to match the energy that the Kings play with. They're going to just have to play better.
They just have to shoot better. Absolutely. I don't think play better is the thing. I think they play the same way that they've always played all season and ever since we've known them to be a cohesive team. But like I said, the glue guy, that guy that can change the game for Golden State is Wiggins. And he has to be the vocal point of what happens on him and Green have to be the vocal points on defense. And he has to get out in transition and he has to play better. But Steph and Clay, nah, they're not missing the threes. So
Sean, Scotty really pointed out the biggest problem that the Warriors have this series, right? And I know Scotty did it on purpose. The problem is they don't have nobody that can stay in front of DeAndre Fox
at all.
And so what does that mean down the stretch? They're going to be able to get any shot anywhere on the court they want. It's just a matter of whether or not he can make the shot or not.
And statistically, that De'Aaron Fox in this year of NBA has been the most clutch player coming down the last 2 minutes of an NBA game. In this year, he has been the most clutch player coming down the NBA stretch, as well as the Kings have had the most efficient offense as well in this year in the NBA as well. Now, let me throw some other things in there, some caveats. Sabonis only going for 12. I think that is, I say this, Malik Monk going for 32 is an anomaly, and Sabonis only going for 12 is an anomaly. I think Sabonis is good for at least 18 to 20. Now, so I think those might parry themselves out. Can De'Aaron Fox? I think De'Aaron Fox has to average 30 in this series to make it a game. I really do believe that. I think De'Aaron Fox is going to have to be a superstar. And that's why I'm asking you, has De'Aaron Fox arrived to this point? Because to me, he has to average 30 to make this work. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep this team in contention, because we know what Clay and Steph can do. We know that. We know it's nothing for them. It's nothing for Clay to have a 20-point third quarter or a 25. You get what I'm saying? That's in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing for Steph Curry to go off for 40 and he get 30 in the first half. You get what I'm saying? Or 20 in the first half, 20 second. So to me, those are not the issue. The issue is that can we rely on the scoring of De'Aaron to average Malik? Because we know Malik Monk is a streaky shooter. He's as streaky as they get, right? Every place he's been streaky. So can Sabonis be a staple? Can he bang with Draymond, get to the foul line? And that foul line is key. But let me ask you this. Let me throw this question. Mike Brown's experience with the Warriors, how important is that for this Kings team? Sean, I'm gonna let you have it first.
It's probably the most intriguing part about this series is his experience being on all of those teams, coaching as an assistant, and even, you know what I mean, as a head coach. His experience to know how to get players ready, how to handle the moment, how to set the tone is good, especially with a young team, because you don't have a bunch of
veterans,
right? You don't have a bunch of veterans that are dominating your huddle. He's the veteran. He's the loudest voice in that huddle. And they look to him right now, especially in uncharted territory, right? So while they're in uncharted territory, he's got to be spot on. So his situational basketball knowledge is key, right? In and out of timeouts, he's got to be key. Whatever he's drawing up has got to be like, intriguing to his team. But again, when you have two people who don't care about who is playing on the other side, that are just know that they're faster than everybody on the court and can play at 100 miles an hour, it helps him. It helps him a lot, man, because that's something that he hasn't really had in his tenure as a head coach. Is two guys that can get up and down the court real fast and not lose their breath.
I like that. Rocky, what you got?
This is what I got, man. And it's simple. And you guys can take it for what it's worth. Clay and Steph are the two most reliable scorers that the Warriors have. And if you look at it on the other side, they can get offense from anywhere on that other team. They can get it from De'Aaron Fox, and surely they can get it from Monk, but they also can get it from Sabonis, Murray. They have a lot of options on their team to get points from. I don't think the Warriors can consistently depend on scoring. Now, if Wiggins picks it up, right, it becomes the player he was in their last playoff run, then of course I think they can really, they can really make some noise. But it's going to take him a couple games to get his feet up under him. And can he recover? Playing one good game is one thing. Coming back on 1 day's rest after you hadn't played, 30 games? You hadn't played in 2 months? What is his legs going to be like today? So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Wiggins brings to the table, because without him, it's just Steph and Clay, and I don't think that's enough if they want to beat the Sacramento Kings.
All right, so I'm gonna pivot off what you said, and then we're gonna make our picks for game 2. For me, there's something about playoff basketball that, and Rocky and Sean, you guys have seen it. When you're at home, your role players play a very different. They play very well when you at home. Role players look like superstars. They're there. You're putting up 15, 17, highest average in the world. Then you take that show on the road, and it puckers up, it gets real tight. You know what I'm saying? That rim look real small. So I think the experience of Warriors in the battles that they've gone through, to me, is always going to leverage out a little bit more than a new team trying to find. This team has not been in the playoffs in 17 years. They don't even know what the logo was different when they was in the last time they had played in the playoffs. Okay. The 3 wasn't even that big of a deal the last time they was playing. So it's just a different style, but I'm curious to see. So I'm gonna start with my pick. It evens up. I go 1-1. I I think the Warriors are like, their 2 best players gave them their best, and they only beat us by 3. That's just me. Sean, go ahead. You can take over.
I got the Warriors winning tonight, and ultimately, I think that they will. If this series drags out, if the young guns from the Sacramento Kings can't get ahead and stay ahead, and this series drags out, the experience will eventually it will take over. And coaching, I don't give an edge in the coaching bracket. Steve Kerr versus Mike Brown.
Good, I like that.
I just think the pedigrees of both are there. So yeah, that's how I'm shaping things up. But I see Steph and Clay, like you said. I just feel like they're gonna go bananas, man. We might get 80 points from just them 2.
That's real. Rocky, what you got?
You guys, have a lot of belief in the Warriors, and they've earned that kind of belief, right? But I got to see it, because I remember when the Warriors were young, and I remember when they ran into some more experienced teams, and they did something similar to what Sacramento is doing now. They just were relentless. They kept playing. They kept making buckets. They kept defending, and they were ultimately able to knock off more experienced teams. And so I see in this game right here, this is just a 1-game scenario. And you make a great point, Scotty. I see Malik Monk showing up. I see those other role players continue to play well. I see Sabonis playing a lot better than he did Saturday night. And again, I just think, ultimately Sacramento is going to pull this one out. I think the Warriors are going to have to go home and get some confidence, because they're not going to get any in Sacramento.
And let's be mindful. The Warriors have had a horrible road record this year. I mean, I think it's one of the worst road records
Yeah, they're 4-37 or something stupid like that.
Something crazy. I think it was like 33-11 or 30-10, something crazy like that. So, but I'll say this, and I know that it's going to sound real stupid because I said what I said. If it goes to 7, Warriors win. That's just how I feel. If it goes to 7, Warriors win. Now, I don't believe in Steph. I'm really contradicting myself. I don't believe Steph is clutch. I really don't. I never believed that. I don't think he's that guy. That's just my personal opinion. But I just think that when you have a championship team, game 7s don't mean as much because we've been here. You know what I'm saying? We've been here numerous of times. So that's just my personal opinion. But I think they level it up. All right. My game.
Yes.
Yeah, this is my game. Okay. Go James, baby. Go James. All right.
The LA Bronze.
Hey,
That's my squad.
my squad, man. Come on, man. Stop playing.
Bronze, huh?
The LA Bronze. That's fine with me. All right. So series leads 1-0, Lakers way. Bet makers have the Grizz by 1 point. I think Ja Morant is doubtful for this game too because of his hand. Let me ask you guys this. I have rarely seen a team. I haven't seen it since the Heat, right? And maybe, I can say Cavs when he had Kyrie and them boys. But can the supporting cast continue their run to save? Let's be honest, they saved him because he played bad. To his 5 turnovers, I was yelling at the TV, "Hey man, sit that Bama down, bro!" Like you messing up the flow, LeBron. So can the supporting cast continue their run with the Lakers? And also, how critical is the injury? Rocky, take this one. Can the supporting cast continue their run?
I think no, they can't continue to run at the level they played yesterday. So no, but I don't. With Ja being injured, I don't think they will have to play to that level. I also think that the Lakers will defend better this game. To be honest with you, because they did a horrible job against Jaren Jackson.
Jesus Christ! I thought that kid was. I'm like, who is he? Hakeem Olajuwon? I'm like, what the hell is this going on? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I was high.
Yeah, they'll solve that riddle. LeBron was playing YMCA defense on him, and he was letting him just, I mean, it was ridiculous. And so anyway, my point in saying that is I don't think they will have to play as well because I think AD is going to play well. I think Bron is going to play much better. And I think they're going to get the same level of contribution from some of their other starters. And that'll be enough for them to edge out a victory Wednesday night. And the other reason why I picked the Lakers is I think if I looked at the schedule, the Lakers need to get this game because they won't have this much rest again in the series. So they really need. I thought even if they lost the first game, they needed to get this game because they won't have that much rest the rest of the series. And so with getting literally 3 days off, 2 days off.
Yeah,
they're going to come in rested, and I look for them to put up another great performance. LeBron, AD, D'Angelo Russell, Schroeder. I figure those guys will play much better than they did yesterday.
Yeah. What you got, Sean?
Man, I agree with Rock, your perspective. I just really think that the supporting cast outplayed themselves. But usually when we're talking NBA playoffs, right, it's always about the others, right? There's a history of others in every playoff run for great teams. You expect to end up at winning a championship. So this may be the series where they win a game for you that help you ultimately overall win the series. But can they continue to do that? I don't think so. I just think that this was one of those games that the others was just more important than the
stars.
Yeah, man. Like, what is going on?
It rarely happens on the road, though, Sean.
Exactly.
It rarely happens
it was like
on the road.
Perfect storm for them because the game was close, and then you got these others in here, and then next thing you know, they just start going on these little shooting runs, and I'm like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got Ja Morant, he's hurt. They really had a spark, lost the spark, and you don't really know what you're going to get out of the supporting cast. Although they had time to play without Ja Morant because of he was going away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem for me. And I feel like something is just in the Grizzlies' way this year. Too many other outside incidences took precedence of this particular team, and they're trying to identify or hold to an identity that is not really them. That the Z-Bo era has passed the Grizzlies.
And Dylan Brooks needs to shut up because if his defense, like I thought for sure he was going to make more impact on the game. And defensively, he was getting cooked too. He was the next worst defender after LeBron in the game.
Wow.
Because LeBron was horrible. Huh?
I can't get past the YMCAD. That just means
that's what LeBron was playing, And LeBron does that when he doesn't respect the player that he's playing against. But I think we know now that the guy is actually in the NBA, and LeBron needs to put more of a challenge forward on the guy. But again, I just think when you talk
about
it's
his injury,
huh?
You think he's buying time for his injury?
Yeah, he does have that foot injury. He is coming off that foot injury.
I think they're waiting. So I think Bron sees a very athletic player, that's longer than him, and he wants to save his spots that he wants to play defense. Like he don't want to play defense every trip, and so when you get the ball to him, LeBron's going to give him opportunities to, shoot over him. He made the shots. Will the kid make the shots Wednesday? I don't know, but I think we need to put more force against him. I mean, there's somebody on the bench, I think, that could, Mo Bamba, Gabriel, somebody can add more, could add some force that could provide better resistance than LeBron did.
Why did they get Tristan?
For an enforcer. I would say for an enforcer. It's like, hey, get in there and stop people from because let's be real. AD is not a great rebounder. There's times where a 7-footer would have 2 rebounds in a game. You didn't play 30 minutes, you got 2 rebounds and you're 7 foot. That don't make no sense. So I think Tristan is that banger that do all the dirty work. He's like a bigger Rodman. That's pretty much what they're going to use him for.
And I think you made a great point. For all intents and purposes, AD's a stretch player, right?
Yeah.
He's a stretch 4, stretch 5. He's not a guy that's going to go inside and make a lot of noise if he on bigger players. Like last night, he gets to play against a lot of shorter players in the inside, and he did really well. But I think against bigger players, I think you're so right, Scotty. The Lakers are going to need a more physical presence inside, and I think that's what Tristan brings to the table.
Let me pose this to you guys. With Kobe from the Ozarks. Shout out to Skip Bayless for that one. I love that name. Kobe.
I like Hillbilly Kobe better.
Hey, Hillbilly Kobe from the Ozarks. It don't matter to me. The boy can ball. Okay. With the supporting cast, because think about what I want y'all to focus on. Like, we all know, once again, on the road is a little different with supporting players and casting roles. But one, the faith that they put in Austin Reeves to deliver, right? I mean, giving him the ball, letting him dominate with the ball in his hands. And then 2, the players that you brought in to count on still were not factors in this game. Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, D-Lo, Dennis Schroeder. None of these guys were factors in this game, and you still have them available, willing to play, playoff experience. Like, these are legit guys. So my question to you, Rocky, is how can you not see this cast continuing to push this team further along? And my last point is they need to stop. They need to really stop switching everything. That's how Jaren got off, because they kept switching everything. They would do a pick and roll at the high top of the key. They would hand him the ball. Next thing you know, he got Austin Reeves on him, or he got some small guy, and he going to work. But go ahead, Rock, because I want to push back on the supporting cast.
So as I look at the box score over here, Scotty, if you really look at it, the only person on the bench that made a contribution was Hachimura. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody else played very pedestrian. So if you spread those 30 points that he got over those players you said, whether it be Hachimura, Gabriel, Brown, Bamba, Schroeder, Beasley, and you spread that, those guys easily could get another 30 points combined. So I think I may have spoke too early when I said they can't get that same production, because I think if you use all the players and they all get 8 to 10 points, make 3 of those players get 8 to 10 points, you've replaced Hachimura's production. But my question is, are we going to get another 23 points from Reeves? I don't think so. But also, I don't expect us to get 4 points from Vanderbilt either. So I think it kind of all balances out, and you can look for another pretty balanced contribution from the bench. So I think you can get another 30, 40 points from the bench. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's possible.
Sean, what you got in this series? How you rolling?
Well, the bench is going to have to play every game because of this on and off switch that the starters have. But I'm not going with my heart. I think everything lines up for the Lakers in this series. This is a great learning experience for them to build team unity moving forward. And this could start their run because, the starters, they're getting away with lackluster play against Memphis right now. Let's just be honest. And when they're clicking, they can dominate. Instead of this being a 20 or 30 point game, right? It was we got what we got out of it because of the others. And, this is going to be instrumental, man. This is an instrumental path. I got the Lakers, man. I got the Lakers. And I got them at 5.
Woo!
Wow.
I like that.
No Ja, 5.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm wholeheartedly on. Listen. That's my pick. That's my pick too. 5. You know what I'm saying? That's my pick too. Rocky, what you got? I'm going.
I got the Lakers this game. For the series, I got to see how Ja Morant responds to treatment and how he's able to play if he does play injured Wednesday. But definitely, I see him winning on Wednesday. I just feel like the Lakers are going to be greedy and they're going to go in and try to get another win. And I don't see the Grizzlies being able to overcome the injuries and also the momentum that the Lakers have right now.
All righty. Last game. You already know what it is. The battle of the besties. Okay. The battle of the besties. LA Clippers, Phoenix Suns. My bad. I got the wrong thing down there. I moved it, but I believe this is I think it was like a 3-point. I think it's a 3 or 5 point for the Phoenix Suns, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can double check that on me. But
okay.
I apologize for that. Let me say this, and I want to start with this one. How big is this series for KD's legacy? Because let's be real, KD has not led a team by himself. Let's just be very clear about that. And then secondly, for him to jump ship, come to the Suns, have 2 perennial all-pro players or NBA pros, whatever they call them in the NBA, right? How important is this run for KD, and where do you guys see this series going? Sean, you can pop it off.
I agree with you. KD hasn't done anything on his own merit, but this is a legacy run for KD. This is to reassure that he is the player that people thought that he was 2 years ago, right? He was taking that spotlight from LeBron James. It was all about KD. He was everywhere. His name was everywhere, literally in the NBA before the Greek Freak. So this is instrumental. Is he ready? Is he healthy enough? Is this fool's gold? Is this another case of fool's gold with KD? And to add to that, Chris Paul, right?
Hats.
You know what I'm saying? So here we are. We have two elite Hall of Fame players that the Phoenix Suns has, and a great future Hall of Famer shooting that pill like it's no other. But you know what will happen? Again, this is big for KD's legacy, man. If he can't get it done right here, bro, I think we need to move on from the KD hype.
I love it. I'm loving the way that sounds. What you got, Rock?
I agree with Sean in this regard. We have to, if KD can't get it done with this level of talent around him, we have to reevaluate how we view KD and his impact on the NBA. I've always thought he was a great player, even when he was in college, and then early on at OKC. But did he know more about what he was capable of than we actually knew when he went ahead and left OKC and went to the Warriors in order to win a championship? Mm-hmm. Did he know he needed a championship team to be a part of in order to win a championship? Because he's not been able to elevate a team that hadn't won a championship to win one. He wasn't able to elevate Brooklyn. And so far, one playoff game into his son's experience, he loses to his former teammate, Russell Westbrook, while Russell Westbrook shoots 3 for 19. How can they lose that game when Russell shoots 3 for 19, man? So, again, I think we have to rethink KD's impact if they get beat in this series. And Scotty, just to correct you do have the point spread correct. It's the Suns plus 7.5. So the odds makers believe in the Suns. They're a heavy favorite in that game. And so they believe in KD. But the question is, should they believe in KD?
I want to throw this to you guys. I'm looking at this box score, and man, the way that the Clippers have filled this thing up with everybody, like literally everybody scored from this team. And then you had Westbrook for 3 and 19. Then you had Kawhi. Kawhi went dumb in this game. Okay, like he went for 38, went dumb, had some great, huge, big threes and shooting. Let me throw it back. Can Westbrook continue to outplay his bad shooting? Because let's be real. Without Westbrook last night, they lose that game. You can, however you want to flip it, however you want. The hustle that he provided the last 2 minutes of that game was unquestioned. Okay. Let's go back to the last minute where they had 3 consecutive possessions that he tipped off of people's hands, or he was in the mix for getting rebounds, went off somebody's hand, went off somebody's foot, which then decreased the clock every time, and then ended up going to the free throw line and sealing it with the 2 free throws to put them up 3. Right? So, I mean, come on,
again, Scotty, I watched Westbrook for 1.5 years with the Lakers every night. I'm a Laker. I'm a Bron fan. And what I saw from Westbrook is he'll shoot, he'll hustle you in the game, and he'll turn over you and shoot you out of the game. And that's just the story of Westbrook. That's just the story of Westbrook. You have to, now, I don't know if the Clippers can afford to do it. And I think it probably will bite them in the ass long term. But you have to know when to sit him on the bench. And usually down the stretch, if you have the lead, you need to have his ass on the bench because he doesn't play with the level of IQ to allow you to win down the stretch. But this game was very nip and tuck. It was very tight, and they needed him to defend Booker and help out defending KD. And he did both of those things at a very high level. I never, in the 2 years I seen him, 1.5 years I seen him with the Lakers, I really never seen that level of defense. I seen that effort before, right? But he was much like a crash dummy. Ain't no telling what would happen when he was given that level of effort. But in this situation down the stretch, it all turned out great for the Clippers. I don't have any confidence that he can repeat this. I believe he can repeat the 3 for 19 because it has only happened 6 times in NBA history that a player has went 3 for 19. Woo! And the last time it was done, guess who shot 3 for 19 in the playoffs? Russell Westbrook.
At least
he's consistent.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. What role, because we know the Suns bench is absolutely atrocious. All right. It's absolutely atrocious. So what role do you see the Suns having? Because listen, let me show you. Chris Paul went for 7. You played 39 minutes, you got 7 points. So how do you see the Suns rebounding from this loss and then going into your pick for game 2?
Well, first of all, they just got to get more out of their starters, especially their point guard, who has been lackluster in big moments. He has a history of folding in big moments. So now this is a series that's important for him, just as it is in KD. But look, they need a bench. They need some bench help because they need to steal about 5 to 10 points, from their bench just to help them get within even the game.
Yeah.
And then allow the greats to take over at that point. If they can't get that or produce that, then it's a problem. But again, Westbrook, right? What happens there? Is he the Westbrook that scraps and scrambles and dives all over the floor and the high energy guy that steals the extra possession or gets the extra possession in some kind of weird way that ultimately leads the Clippers to dominate? I'm not buying that. So I just really think that the Phoenix Suns come out in this next series and they take full advantage of it and win, and then go ahead and gain control of the series. But again, Kawhi is an animal. He's an animal. So how do you tame that animal?
Yeah.
Right. And the best way to do that is to make him work extra harder. And KD's got to do that. He's got to make him want to guard him for 48 minutes and not slack off. And can Kawhi do that? We don't know. I just really got this feeling about, all this load management and them needs might come into a factor later on in this series. But I think, I got Phoenix Suns winning this game. This series, I have the Phoenix Suns in 7. Ooh. I think this is going to be a long series.
What you got, Rock?
Yeah, I just think that Westbrook had his moment in this series. I don't have any confidence that the Clippers without Paul George can win this series. If Paul George comes back, then I'll reevaluate it. But at the end of the day, I just don't think the Clippers have enough to beat the Suns starting 5. Because that's really all the Suns have.
That's it.
That's all they have. And as I evaluate this and to see whether they can win a championship, you're talking about a team that's going to have to play KD upwards of 45 minutes a game. They're going to have to, each starter is going to have to score 15 to 20 points. Their starters have a lot on them right now. And I don't know if that's the way to make a playoff run, but I think they will beat the Clippers in 5. I agree with Sean said 7, but I think the Clippers will lose and the Suns will beat them in 5. I think it'll be a what they call this? A gentleman's sweep.
A gentleman's sweep?
Yeah, gentleman's sweep.
It might be something. It might be something in my baby's chicken spaghetti that she made tonight, but I have the Clippers winning in 6. I think I just think that listen, I think this team loves Westbrook. I think they do. I think they follow his lead. I think they follow his tenacity. I think they are just listen, Tyronn Lue was the way he was as a player, he wasn't the best scorer. He was a defensive player. He made his money in the league by playing defense, right? Everybody remembers him for the AI step over, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he was a defensive player. And I think
gritty.
He was gritty. I like that. Thank you. He was gritty. So to me, I think his team embodies that. He loves the Westbrook intensity. I think a lot of players follow Westbrook's intensity. And I think that, if I'm being honest, I think the Suns don't have an answer for Miles Plumlee for coming off the bench. I really don't think they have an answer for it. I mean, the rebounds that he was able to do, Zubac, I think they need to use him a little bit more because he seems like a mismatch for the center position. And I think they got DeAndre Ayton. I mean, 18, not bad, but I'm not a fan of his game. So I really got the Clippers in 6. I think they pull this off. I think if they can, I think it goes 1-1, right? I think it goes 1-1 because they are at home. But I do think the Clippers go 2-0 at home. I really believe that because they need it. They need it. So I believe they go 2-0 at home, and I think they pull it out in 6. That's my prediction.
Now, so how do they overcome bad Westbrook? That's what I'm saying. Because just with the level of inconsistency that he plays with, right? Meaning that he shoots 3 for 19, right? And so that's what we're going to harp on, but you can't match his energy, right? But the fact of the matter is, him, like, I think the amazing thing about yesterday's game was, he only had. Let me just look at the box score. Let me look at the box score because I want to look at how many turnovers he had. Like, because those are things that are hard to overcome when you talk about Westbrook. And he had 2 turnovers. How many games have you seen Westbrook play for the Lakers and he had 2 turnovers?
It'd be like 2 turnovers in the first 5 minutes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as he hustles, like, at the end of the day, missing shots isn't the problem with Westbrook, in my opinion. It's those turnovers. It's not playing. It's the lack of being able to play situational basketball. He even got caught up in some of that last night when he went down and took some ill-advised threes that he probably shouldn't have taken. Mm-hmm. When he took some threes, when what's my man name? Kawhi Leonard was scorching hot. He just he was scorching hot, and he took the ball and wasn't even looking to find it. And at one point in the game, and I hate to talk about Westbrook, but if you go back and look, there was 2 minutes. There were like 2.5 minutes left in the game, and they just quit passing the ball to him.
Listen, I do believe Westbrook has flaws. We've all seen it. We all know it. But I just think that he outplays a lot of those flaws. I really believe that. You know what I'm saying? In a 3 of 19 shooting, is it the best? No. But his free throw shooting is pretty damn good. He's going to get to the free throw line. That's in his nature. He's going to attack the rim. And I think if you can get – the real question is, can Eric Gordon keep giving me 19 points? Can he give me 15 points every night? That's the real question. Can Miles Plumlee give me 7 to 10 points? Can Kawhi keep going for 30? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what you're going to get. Westbrook's going to be the up and down.
Westbrook is essentially the guy on the blacktop playing in cutoff shorts and church shoes. You know what I mean? And killing everybody. Like, that's who y'all all know, that guy that forgot his shoes on Easter and he go play no matter what. And he got some cutoff jeans, some church socks, and some church shoes. And he out there killing. He's fouling. He's traveling. He getting every rebound. And you tolerate him because eventually he gonna get the ball and pass it to you and let you shoot. And you tolerate him for that reason, and that's what he reminds me of, no doubt. Maybe y'all don't have those kind of guys in y'all neighborhood, but I grew up with a lot of them, and they just gonna play hard, man. And I respect it, but at the NBA level, man, his lack of self-control, his lack of situational awareness will not allow you to win ball games down the stretch. I've seen it too many times.
We shall see. We shall see. And man, listen, I appreciate this. Has been the first episode of Bet Big. More to come, guys, with the NBA playoffs coming up. More to come. You'll see more of Sean, more of Rocky, more of myself. Because listen, man, it's a lot of sports going on. Surprisingly, because usually it's just baseball and basketball, but now with USFL and XFL, there's a lot of stuff going on. So there's a lot of sports to talk about, and we're going to dive a little deeper. And we're going to probably bring this back up either Thursday or Friday. But make sure you stay tuned into what we're doing here on Bet Big. All right. Also, before I get up out of here, got to show you, shout out to my man, the HBCU Sports Wire on Instagram. You can find my man. Hook me up with this Andrew Buddy poster. You know what it is. Exclusive. Boy, you better stop playing with me, man. All right. He gave me this one. He sent me this one. He sent me a Musa one. It was pretty nice. So I'm going to get this frame. Probably going to get it signed because, Andrew Buddy's my guy. And then I'm going to get it framed, and you're going to see it on my back wall somewhere. So shout out to my boy, the HBCU Sports Wire. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter as well. All right. And also, please do not forget April 27th. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that we talk about as fun, fun, exciting and stuff. But listen, wealth seminar. All right, listen, I don't get guys who Miss Cleo you, okay? These are bona fide. I will show you my receipts. I will show you my asset list. These guys are bona fide money millionaires. Mr. Bugs is a co-venture capitalist, all right, part of the 316 Capital Fund. I believe I think they are getting an investment of $100 million for his venture capitalist fund. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about long money, not short money, right? And Matt Spooler, financial service millionaire as well, talking about long money. They're doing a wealth seminar here on the Off Script. They're good friends of mine. So they say, hey, Scotty, we would love to talk money moves. We would love to tell you what to do with your money and how you can get and protect yourself during this economy. So listen, this is for everybody. It's free. This is stuff you pay for from conferences.
Hey, Scotty, can I ask the question that everybody wants to ask right now?
Talk to me.
What HBCU did they go to?
That boy, hey, Rocky on fire tonight, boy.
He's shooting from a distance. That boy's shooting from a distance. Oh,
hey,
man.
Somebody asked, I'm still gonna do my show. Yeah, I'm still gonna do my show, man. Most definitely.
Shoot,
I just got to get in a routine. I had some things happen, man, that threw me off track, and we had a little lull in sports, man. So we definitely want to do it. I'm definitely gonna do it, but definitely. For right now, I want to continue to do this Bet Big. I want to build this platform with Sean and Scotty. And, if y'all just want to see me by myself, maybe, we can figure something out, man. But I don't want to do a duplication of the content we're doing here, man. And so if I do come on, it's going to be about something different. It's going to be something new. So, but yeah, man, I love doing this with Scotty and Sean. And so we're going to do this for a while, and then I will be back during football season, no doubt.
All right. So once again, tune in, check in. Bet Big will be back. Make sure you guys have your notification bells on. Sean, Rocky, we're coming with you with some hard.
Eventually, Scotty, we got to take some calls. I don't mean to interrupt you, Scotty, but we didn't get a chance to take any calls. But in future shows, we will take some calls.
Absolutely.
I promise you.
We're probably going to scale this down time-wise so we can leave something on the back end to make sure we take some calls if anybody has questions on. But I think as the show keeps going and we dive more and more into betting, you're going to get a lot more calls and answers questions about what they should do with their money. But just wanted to touch base on that before we get up out of here. Guys, listen, I appreciate your time. You already know what it is. Until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.